Alright, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Live as usual on makeITsimpleTT. Tonight we jumping back into some multiple choice questions. For the past few weeks I've been doing paper twos just to get your knowledge kind of up. And now, as I promised, I'll be hitting some multiple choice questions, some now till exams. So we'll see how much we can get through tonight. I have probably about 20 something, close to 30 lined up right now, and we tried again as much as we could. We're going through some multiple choices. Yeah, or they could take any meme there as usual. You know, like sometimes you think you're ready and then sometimes you're really not ready. Yes, maybe, kinda, no, I don't know. After tonight, you might get, because I think I went through all the previous questions I did in the other videos, and this one, session 4, should have new questions that you probably haven't seen, or somebody harder questions. Alright, somebody share this in the student hub. Usual things. Yeah, Spanish already shared. I just got a notification there. Share it in the student hub, and if you're not a part of the student hub, check me on Instagram at makeITsimpleTT, and I'll link you up with all the stuff. Welcome. Alright, so to everybody that's watching this video in the future, this is for you. My name is Mr. Charles. I have a little thing called makeITsimpleTT. This is my website, makeITsimpleTT.com. For all the videos that I ever do on YouTube, there's a video section that basically has every single video that's running. For Cape IT, Cape Computer Science, and of course Csec IT, which you're on right now. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're doing Csec IT. And if you like what you see and you want to be a part of my classes, I have online classes for everybody. IT-wise, Csec Information Technology, we have classes for that. Cape Information Technology, we have classes for that. Cape Computer Science, we have classes for that with IE or without the IE. And if you're interested, of course, you just click and fill out the form, and you will be on the inside. Back to you guys. All right, so let me see who on the inside. Jared was first. Before I even click go live. Before I even click go live, I see Jared first. Like, before my face even pop up. It's serious. It's real serious with this guy. He's be first on the YouTube live and first on Instagram too. Aaron John, Anna. Who's Anna? Well, I don't remember seeing you, Anna, but that's cool. Sherry, Celicia, yep. Them is day ones, all is day ones. Day ones on the inside. Just Ali, Bismarck, day one again. Spanish is our next day one. Calissa Lewis. Calissa, and I don't remember seeing you before, but welcome. Stephanie Rodney. Good night. Don't remember you, but nice. Blaine is our day one too. Vedang is our day one also. Dark Magician, I remember Dark Magician a few times. Nice. Steve, all the day ones. Only was there when we only had 250 subscribers. Now we're knocking on 200. I mean 2,000. So we're going good. Alright, so why I tell you these multiple choice questions are the ones from hell. These are the ones that normally when I do my classes, normally when I do my classes is I would go through all the multiple choice questions, and these are the ones that people usually get wrong. So I kind of went through the papers and I found the questions that people usually get wrong, and I'm gonna take the time to explain them. Now, if you are if you're accustomed doing work with me on YouTube all the time, you're most likely going to get them correct because, well, you're kind of smart by now. But if you're smart, I don't want it to be a show off and be like, yeah. You can still send the cake emoji. I'll take the cake emoji and think, but don't be knocking the questions and be like, sir, I thought these things were supposed to be hard. No, you lie. Like, really and truly, after you learn enough and after I teach you enough, it ain't gonna be hard. But for some people, it may be hard. So just kind of be, nice and care about others, right? Don't make it seem like if somebody get it wrong that they don't know IT or anything like that. We're not about that. So usually, if it's easy, you just send the cake emoji. If you learn something along the way, you send the scholar hat emoji, right? Everybody know what the scholar emoji is, the graduation hat. Somebody just send it there so that they will know. And everybody else, well, you're gonna learn your ropes if you're new. All right, so there you go. Normal question people tend to mess up a little bit would be this one here. Right, so which of the following is not a physical access restriction? So remember, when you have security, you would usually have physical and then you would have logical. So physical security and logical security, they have different parts. So physical would be like keys and things and locks. Logical is the things that you could do on a computer. So only the things that you do on a computer would be not physical. And out of all of these here, there's only one of them that you only need software to do. Encryption, right? Encryption only requires software. Biometric requires software and hardware. So this has a bit of physical in it, so biometric does get classed under hardware. So don't get too like Vedang said as the distractor, that is exactly what it is, a distractor. So encryption is the one that is not physical, because access restrictions be physical. I mean, logical would be like encryption, firewall, antivirus, all those stuff will be logical. Physical will be like keys, locks, security guards, and blah blah blah, right? So pay attention to that. It's very possible that they could access something a little trickier than that because the new syllabus have a lot more security questions in it. All right, next question. So this was 1. All right, next one is 2. All right, cool. All right, so tell me what you think about that one there. The diagram above represents what? I've seen many students get this wrong already. Some of my better students in my lessons classes, they might get this wrong too. But basically, there are 2 types of menus, right? There's the menu on top where you have like file, edit, and they have these little boxes on top, and then when you click on them, something else drop down, and you get like save as and print and all that stuff, right? That one is a drop down. The one where you right click, however, is gonna pop up. So imagine you have the mouse cursor here, and then you right click. This is what will pop up. The reason why this is called a pop-up menu is because it pops up when you click or like your long press. And the thing that gives it away is that it would have open, print, edit, but you see this open with only happens when you right click. Rename only happens when you right click. Send to happens when you right click. So I could show you. Well, if I right click here, you wouldn't really see anything. But if I open up like a folder, like let me say I have this folder here and I right click, good. So you see share, rename, or if I right click on a file, you'd see you give me the opportunity to do multiple things. Send to, you see one there, and you see rename, right? So send to and rename, those are clear giveaways to show that is a pop-up menu, not a pull-down menu. pull down will be the one that will be like in Office or whatnot. When you click, you'll get the menu coming down, and then you have all the choices that you would make. So pay attention to that. This is a pop-up menu, right? Okay, next one. Which of the following is true about an intranet? Let me hear it. Okay, so which of the following is true about an intranet? Now, there are two types of network. Well, there are three nets that you can basically have. You can have internet, then you can have intranet, and then you can have extranet. Internet is everybody. Intranet is limited. And extranet is special access. So definitely if you have intranet, you have to understand that it's only limited to certain people. So offers unlimited access, no, that's internet. Allows access to suppliers, that's special access. Allows access to only employees, that sounds like very much like internet. Offers limited access to employees and suppliers, that more like sound like an extranet. So the answer here is C. And well, you'll get it correctly, right? So remember, inter is intermingling, interrelating, yada yada yada, stuff like that. As everyone. Intra is limited to only a certain set of people, and extranet is people who have special access to intranet. Always remember that, because I've seen people get that wrong plenty times. Yeah. Right, yeah. So all the folks who didn't like it as yet, I would appreciate a little like on the inside. That would be nice. That the likes match the viewers. Alright, so an electronic point of sale system may most likely not be found in. Now, this is one of them weird questions where it'll be like, will be found, will not be found, not will. It's like the opposite of what it's supposed to be. So the easiest way I know how to read this is read this as saying, our electronic point of sale system may most likely be, and take out the not, be found in, and then go through the answers and see where you'll find a point of sale system. Will you find a point of sale system in a pharmacy? Yes. Will you find it in a supermarket? Yes. Will you find it in an appliance store? Yes, because all these places sell stuff. If you're selling stuff, then you need a point of sale system. However, in an office, you don't really sell things. An office is really like do stuff like workout, like office work now. Documents, printing, yada yada yada, stuff like that. So selling 2 pencils from your cabin, okay, yeah. You know some offices, like when you go by your parents' offices, there are people going around selling banana bread and thing, selling banana bread and kuma and chow, yeah. Same thing that's happening in school. Everybody hustling, trying to eat all food. So yeah, they will sell it. But trust me, they ain't coming around with a point of sale system and a links machine for you to swipe. It ain't that serious. So yeah, so office will be the answer here. But I put this question in because it's one of those questions where it's get confused with the not. So what I want you to do is kind of just ignore the not and read the question as is, and then you can go through and find all the correct ones, and then by process of elimination, you'll have one that left, and that'll be the answer, right? Okay, next one. Which of the following checks is a data verification method? Yeah, I know men does get suspended in school for selling things. It's called the black market. I know a fellow who used to walk around with a book bag all the time. And when you ask him why he have on the book bag, he'd be like, it have important stuff inside it. My boy was selling soft drink, yes? That is when they banned soft drink in school. He have a cooler bag in his book bag, and he walking around selling Buster. They end up cracking down on him though, because he still look real shady. He still just be saying down and things. It was really interesting. Anyhow, which of the following is a verification method? So remember, there is validation, and then there's verification. Validation is making sure something meets a particular set of rules. So like, make sure it's the particular data type. Make sure it's a letter if you expect a letter, a number if you expect a letter. Data type, then you have range. Make sure it's between two particular values. Then you have consistency. All that stuff. Verification is when you're looking at things to make sure that you've got the correct stuff. So there are two ways you could verify: double entry. And the next one is a visual check. So clearly, which of the following is a data verification method? Visual is your answer because range falls under validation. Length, validation. Parity, validation. Even though you all don't learn parity anymore, but same concept. So remember, when you're verifying something, it's because you want to make sure it's correct. When you're validating something, you want to make sure that it meets your requirements. So something is invalid when it doesn't meet your requirements. Cool, good, wonderful. Alright, there's a next question that children get wrong all the time. So I've seen a few children get this wrong. Yeah, Jared, the man was making a living. He was eating our food, but if the soft drink ban, like all soft drink banned from school, how you could be selling soft drink? But I know people sell cheese based sandwich and thing, and I have a student who used to sell snacks, cheese based sandwich and thing, and every time, as soon as break time hits, sometimes I still teach him now. You just see she come in with the bag and be like, alright, anybody, snacks, ole, pecorino, cheese based sandwich. When I hear the cheese based sandwich, I say, whoo, that is entrepreneurial. Something. Because she say people want the cheese paste, boy. Yeah, Jared, yeah. People are walking in, people are coming with soft drink in school. Teachers are coming with soft drink in school, yeah. I know that struggle. Alright, raw data. 10111, that is as raw as data could get. Because remember, all our computers understand these numbers ones and zeros because the ALU is process these ones and zeros, right? So the actual ones and zeros, that's raw data. It definitely not sorted. It definitely is not information. It's definitely not secondary data. What this means is like, let me say this 110 001 come inside. What will cause it to go from data to information is when you change all of this here and you change it to the code that is the letter for capital A. So capital A is the information. The ones and zeros, that's just the raw data that the ALU gonna process, and it turns it into yeah. So that's the concept behind raw data. Vedang, look at you. Give me explanation and thing. Next thing you wanna come and do my live for me? You know, teachers just normally say that next thing you wanna teach the class for me? Dark magician, what? When I'll be doing Csec IT? I'm doing Csec IT right now. I don't understand, but Alright, next one, students normally have a little problem with like any fixed days. Every Sunday night I do CSEC IT, sir. Every single Sunday night at 8. For the past 6 months, I've been doing CSEC IT every Sunday night at 8. Alright, so this one was the function of a network of computers. Now, some people don't know the definition of a network. A network is 2 or more computers that network of 2 or more computers that communicate with each other. Alright, Dark Magician, you knew. Alright, cool. Well, now you know. Alright, every Sunday night at 8 o'clock, I'll always be doing CSEC IT. When exams done, even after exams finish, every Sunday night at 8 o'clock, I'll be doing something techie for you. Because I have a whole list of things I'm going to do, like configuring a router, programming a robot, hacking somebody, all them kind of things. That things to do on exams, and that's for the people who really like IT. But most people will just come and watch these things because they want to get they just want to get a pass now. But I notice some of you like real diehard and love IT and want to learn more. Every Sunday night, I could be here for you, boy. I'll be here for you. Alright, what's the function of a network computer? Network enables 2 or more computers. Now you're causing me to cough. Right. Enables 2 or more computers to communicate, right? The whole point is, this is the definition of a network. 2 or more computers communicating. That's a network of computers. Thanks. Well, I think I eat some cheese paste down one of the pimento peppers. Stick on my throat. Pimentos was a little thick. Alright. Right, so I answered our question. So the point is the network 2 or more computers and they must communicate with each other. Okay, let's see what else. Alright, which access method is used to retrieve data from a flash drive? Alright, so let's say A. Alright, so there are many ways of getting data from places. Direct is the answer because direct will be a flash drive because a flash drive uses flash storage. Flash storage is like SD cards, SSDs, and flash drives, of course. Those will be direct storage. That means you could go directly to where you want to get the information that you need. Serial, however, will be things like magnetic tape, because magnetic tape is kind of round up like a thing of masking tape, and you have to go through location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, each location individually before you get to where you want to. And serial and sequential, they both have that kind of roll up masking tape kind of vibe. If it's not tape drive, it's direct. Yeah, you could say that, but index sequential is also a thing, and index sequential is really done on hard drives. So you can have index sequential on hard drives because index sequential has created like an index table to be able to find things faster on it. So some of the mechanical hard drives. Mechanical hard drives use index sequential, so that might come in sometimes, but So yeah. So won't the PS5 digital run faster than the original? Um, yeah, it would run faster. They make it special. Who's asked the difference between serial and sequential? Right, serial has no defined order. So serial is usually the order that you get it in. So if you get if you get a person name that starts with B, then you get a person name that starts with U, and then you get a name that starts with X, and a name that starts with W. Serial will store it just like that. Sequential, however, will get all these information and then sort it in alphabetical order. So serial will be like, serial will get X, A, C, and W, and then sequential will put it in order, which will be A, C, W, X. But they will still be stored on magnetic tape in the order that you have to go through it. So in order to get to X here, you're going to have to go through A, C, W, and X. In order to get to X here, you just have to get to that one there. So serial is just kind of like, as you get it, you get it. Alright, Steve, hope you get an answer there. Alright, let's see which of the following is advantages of information processing. Right. Jared, index sequential is like you have a table of contents that will tell you where each letter starts. It's like an old phone book. You know where A starts, but you don't know the actual location of the person's name. That's what index sequential is. You have a table of contents to look at first to give you a guide as to where to start, so you wouldn't have to go through the whole book. Alright, so this one is what is an advantage of information processing? So when you have these questions, don't even look at the answers here yet. Don't even waste your time looking at the answers. Ask yourself, based on your knowledge, okay, which of the following is an advantage of information processing? Does information processing, is retraining staff an advantage? No, retraining staff costs money because you're going to have to pay to train the staff all time. Is it good that it reduces human intervention? Yes, it's good that it reduces human intervention because humans suck. Humans usually make a lot of mistakes. Humans usually destroy things. Humans usually they don't pay attention. They get tired, that kind of thing. Is it that an advantage is increasing the amount of equipment needed? No, because the amount of equipment needed means more money. So therefore, the only advantage of information processing is reducing human intervention. So we'll go with 2, which is B. Alright, so let's see how we could kind of break that down. Whether humans are competent too? Yeah. Of course humans are competent. Tell that to all the policemen that shooting people in the States right now. Of course they're competent. Yeah. Alright, next one. All the new people that join on there, remember to like the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, well, Alright, let me trace through this. This is a typical trace table question, and there is one trick in it that people tend to miss. So when you have a trace table, you want to lay out all your variables. So you have a x, you have a y, and you have a z, right? The whole point of a trace table is to check to see the changes in values of your variables. So we're starting with, they say y is 5. Cool, thanks very much. Then they say take what's in y and put it in x. So we deal with this line, so we deal with the next line now. Take what is in y and put it in x. So then we go down past 5 inside by x. Cool, now we have to deal with this line. Take 10 and put it inside y, so y gonna become 10. Then we go down and do now, take the 3 and put it inside z, so z becomes 3. And we're going down. Now we reach to this part now, which is take what is in x and y and add them and store it in x. So the normal thing that students normally do is they make the mistake and try to add the first value that they had in x and y. No, you're supposed to deal with the last value. So the last value that I had in y is 10. The last value that I had in x is 5. So 10 plus 5 is 15. So x will become 15. Then we now reach this now. Take what you have in x and subtract z from it. So that means what is in x is 15. 15 take away z is going to give me 12, and then I'm going to put that value inside y, so y becomes 12. And then my last line now is going to be add x plus y plus z, which is the last three values, which is 15 plus 12 plus 3, and put that inside z. Z becomes 30. So my last three numbers will be 15, 12, and 30. That's how I get the answer as D. Always remember, trace tables, you have to follow through every single line by line, but make sure that you always use the last value. The last value that you got. So the last value of y is this, the last value of z is that. And you'll always get the correct answer, because what you tend to do is, or students tend to always look at the starting values, but these starting values does change along the way now, so you have to make sure they change along the way. Good? Nice. I'm glad some people learning stuff and it's starting to make sense. And I'm also glad that all the day ones, they just like, yeah, walk in the park, frozen yogurt, cake, ice cream. Always be like, wait, now we're celebrating our birthday, or there's so much cake here. Alright, next one. Alright, so let's see what this says. The most appropriate data type for storing the amount of interest earned on a sum of money is, well, thing is, when you think about the amount of interest, you have to kind of grasp that interest is usually in a percent. It'll be like 2.5% or 3.1%. And anytime you're thinking about percent, you have to be able to think of a decimal, because 2.5% is 0.025. What variable could hold 0.025? Definitely not a character, definitely not a string, and it can't be an integer, because an integer is only whole numbers. So your answer here is real. Real will be able to hold the decimal. So real, double, and float, all of them are the same thing. They all hold decimals, just that they could hold more decimals sometimes. So double and float, they hold more decimals. Real holds about the same amount of. Real will probably hold like 5 decimal places. Double will hold like, I don't know, 12 or 15 or some kind of thing like that. And float will hold 8 decimal places or something like that. I can't remember the exact numbers, but just remember, You have integers, and then you have real, float, and double. You can see any one of them. Sometimes it have floating point. So sometimes it have real and it might have floating point. I mean, the most techie way to say it is a floating point variable. That is what you teach in university. But because all you learn Pascal, all you learn something called real. But it's very possible that I could see in the exam floating point. I think this word is mentioned in the syllabus. Right? So let's keep that in mind. Floating point, they could bring back the same question, and instead of real, they put floating point, and all you was like, yo, float? Like, nobody tell me about a boat. That ain't making no sense. Steve, don't make me cry, you know. Don't make me cry. Yes, my goal in life is to make the thing simple. It don't have to be difficult. Some teachers just make the thing sound like it's rocket science, but it really isn't. You can be smart too. Yeah, which of the following is not a characteristic of pseudocode? Please don't tell me all you say per pseudocode. If anybody does say per pseudocode, drink some bleach. Not bleach, sorry, I didn't say that. I mean, wash your mouth with soap. Because it's not per pseudocode, it's pseudocode. Alright, so next, this is a normal question, right? So let me take out the nut. Right, take out the nut. Which of the following is a characteristic of pseudocode? Pseudocode is precise, that is correct. It's unambiguous, yes. It's finite, yes. It's a graphical representation of a solution, no. So therefore my answer is D. Alright, characteristics of pseudocode will be these three. Also termination. Termination means that there must be an end, so this is basically example start and stop. Right, so precise, unambiguous, finite, termination, and give me the last one. A graphical representation of a solution. This is actually a flowchart. Ole. I'd change it. We wash your mouth with soap, right? Wash your mouth with soap. Use some blue soap on your mouth. That's if you say per pseudocode. Because if you say per pseudocode, just stop. Just don't. You should not. If I'm in a class and somebody say per pseudocode, I just cringe. I feel like something like some bite me. Alright, next one. Next one that students tend to get wrong because they don't understand programming very well. The purpose of inserting comments with program code is to. Why do you put comments in code? Alright, so the purpose of inserting comments with program code. So when you put comments in your program, so comments is like when you put the 2 forward slashes, or you put in Pascal, you just put curly brackets sometimes. Right, so the purpose of writing comments is to not allow the user to input data, because this is a read. Provide an explanation for the program. No, that's called a readme. Ensure that the program compiles completely. Nope. That's called debugging. Provide information on special features of the program. Ooh, interesting. This is documentation. Alright, so based on all of those, the best one here would be provide an explanation for the program. It really should be provide an explanation for the program to other programmers. Right? Because information on special features of the program, that sounds like a help file. Help file would be like, your program can do this. Right? So that's like you're telling the consumer, hey, yeah, you know that the app could do this, and the app could do that, and the app could do this, and all that kind of stuff. Right? That's special features. But the explanation of the program is I would have put in to other programmers, because when somebody goes into your code, they need to see, they need to understand why you wrote something the way you did, why you use a for loop instead of a while loop, why you use a if here instead of something else, or why you code it this way. That's exactly an explanation for the program. So it's kind of like little notes inside the code that will explain why you did what you did. So this one is a toughie, because plenty children put D instead of B. But special features, they could be down in comments, but the concept is if you explain special features to somebody. That's like, when you download or update an app, and the app does, you kind of get a pointer to be like, hey, do you know you can do this and you can do that? That's special features. You usually explain that to the users. So you have two types of documentation. You have internal, and then you have external. Internal is comments. External is the help file and readme. So you'll read the help file, you'll read the readme file, because that's for external people to read, meaning somebody who uses the program after it's compiled. But if somebody is fixing the program while they're doing it, is internal. And that's where you put in comments. Safe, good, wonderful, nice. Alright, next one. Let's see how this one is. Fedang, what's the difference between an interpreter and a compiler? An interpreter does check code line by line. A compiler does check code at the end only. So, an interpreter will basically go through every line and tell you what's wrong. A compiler will read the whole thing and then tell you all the errors at the end. Think of it like a teacher who is correct an essay. Some teachers is correct essays by writing every time they see something wrong, they'll write something in the like right next to the line. And then some teachers will read the whole essay and write a whole paragraph at the end about what you should do better. So an interpreter check it line by line, and a compiler check it as one big block. Haha, I see what you did there. Your Spanish teacher is an interpreter. You even know that you're telling like a 3-layer joke there? It has so many levels. Alright, so this one here is a for loop. For x is 2 to 15 do. How many times will the program be executed? Now, you should know by now that for loop doesn't always have to go from 1 to something, right? it doesn't have to be like that. For loop could start at any number. For loop could even go backwards. So you could have a for loop that going from 10 to 1 and it will count backwards if you want. Right? So what will happen if it is big brain time? 2 to 15 basically means you have to count 2 as one of the values. So you're starting at 2 and you're trying to get up to 15. So it'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the answer is really 14. But the question you have to ask yourself, you could count it on your hand and get the 14, you know, because you could go from 2 up to 14. But how are you going to do it scientifically? Is there a way that you could calculate how much time it's going to run? I don't know what number we are now. I just know I'm going till 9 o'clock, which is 13 minutes away. But I have probably about 30 something questions inside this that I pull out here. So wherever we reach, we're gonna stop and then we'll finish them next week. And once I go through and I bounce up more, we'll see. Right. So yeah, there must be some scientific way for you to figure out how much times the loop will run. So the scientific way is subtract the two numbers and add 1. So you're gonna get 15 minus 2 is equal to 13, and then you plus 1 to it and you'll get 14. Finally 8 cm. No, it's not serious. So what's going to happen is, let's say you're going for 1 to 10. The same thing will work. 10 take away 1 is 9, and 9 plus 1 means that for loop is going to go 10 times. So anytime, let's say they bring this question and it starts from 3 to 97, and you want to know how much times it's going to run, you always just add subtract the two numbers and then add 1 to the answer that you get, and you'll get how much times the loop is going to run. That's quick math there. Cause yeah. Right, yeah, that's quick maths. Why you're adding 1 is because you need to consider the starting number. You have to consider the starting number as an actual number. So just remember, you always have to add back 1, and you will always get how much time the for loop is going to run. Because I suspect that they'll kind of tailor this type of question and change it around, and you'll get back something similar to this, because it's possible. Alright, let me see what's going on with this one now. Alright, so let's say they have these statements. Ask yourself, do you know which line contains the processing statement? Da, 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 da. Look at it, 1800 subscribers, yes? Them subs just fly up there, boy. Wait, everybody in the live right now subscribe, right? Well, of course, all the day ones only subscribe, but I might make the 2000 before exams. Maybe. Anyhow, Which line contains a processing statement? Alright, so a process is usually when the computer has to do something. So process is when the CPU works. More likely the ALU, right? So the ALU inside the CPU has a job to do. Does this make the ALU do anything? No. Does this make the ALU do anything? No. But does this make the ALU do something? Yes, of course. Because there's an equal sign. So that means something has to be added or multiplied or something, and then whatever answer you get, it had to store inside the VAT. So processes are usually once you see an equal sign, tell yourself a process is taking place. That's happened all the time. So when you see an equal sign, process. No questions asked. Don't beat up too much. Nice. What are you talking about there? C processing does calculations. Well, thanks. Alright, next one. What is the correct sequence for the above steps in the development of our program? What is the correct sequence for the steps in developing a program? Wait. The sub's still going up. Ollie, I can't believe Ollie was in the live and didn't subscribe yet. Click subscribe, please. Just in case you didn't subscribe yet. That would be great. Look, my sub's going up. Feeling like a shilling. Alright, so which is the correct sequence for the above steps in development of a program? Remember, when you're developing a program, is all start with a human, and that human has to now put instructions into a computer, and then the computer will run the instructions, and then things come up on the screen. So the first thing that the computer has that has to take place is that the person has to create the source code. Remember, source code is coming from the source. The human is the source of the code. So the source code had to get created first, so therefore 2 must be first. Once 2 first, then, well, basically the answer is going to be C. Doesn't matter. After you create the source code and you click compile, you have to click compile and then create the object code. And then after you create the object code, you will execute it and test for accuracy. So that'll be C. Alright. If gets 2K before exams, he should hold a free. A free what? Free who? Haha. Free. The sub's still going up, yes? Way. It had real leechers inside here, boy. When I say leecher, I mean not leech, but it had real leechers that'll just come in and be like, alright, let me just click on this link and watch this. But they wouldn't even give our brother a little sub, boy, a little follow on Instagram too. Jeez. Real grimy out here, boy. Look, numbers still going up. Alright, well, follow me on Instagram too. At makeITsimpleTT on the grams. Since it's so easy to get numbers. Like, I just ask the people, you know. Well, a man asking, was the IG? Somebody put the IG with him now, because apparently I know marketing good enough. I obviously know marketing good enough. Yeah. But but under all kicks, for real, I have a, what is called this word? I have an iPhone I'm going to give away after exams. Oh, you want to plug the website one time too? Nah, let's plug the website at the start of every video. It'll be overkill to plug the website every time. The plugin is for, you know, later on when like next year when people watching videos and things for exams in 2021 and they come back and watch these videos, they will be like yeah. But anyhow, yeah, I'm gonna have a giveaway. Well, not giveaway. I'm gonna run a competition after exams, a programming competition. Yeah, to win an iPhone SE. It most likely be an iPhone SE and a Pixel, right? If I get these sponsors to sponsor it properly, but you know, if all things go right after exams, we go have an online competition. It's an online programming competition that we're working on right now. But all you'll get details about that just now. Yeah, but you gotta follow on Instagram to get that. So follow on Instagram at makeITsimpleTT, and then you can see all the information. You'll see all the information there. Hey, look, Christopher, you're winning now. Now is a programming competition now that I'm gonna run. I'm working on the details right now. But it's not code. Trust me, you can see when I release the information for it, yeah. But I mean, if I get all 2K subs, we could work with that. We could see. But after exams, we have to keep the IT pumping. For those who really love IT, that is all they are aiming for. Not for people who just want a little pass. Alright, I'll answer the question. Programming testing could be described as what? All you're pulling, man, wants that small talk. Real smalls. Spanish, what you say? I'm not taking it on. What you said? Or what iPhone I say? SE 2020. It was supposed to be an iPhone SE and a Pixel 4a, but the 4a they're pushing it back. They're pushing it back too far. So give away one for the 2K and another for the competition. Well, they do just give away something just so you had to have some sort of competition to give it away. So that was the whole point. So you could win it. Plus you might, you know, become famous or something. Anyhow. Programming testing could be described as, so remember I tell you with these questions, just don't bother with reading the answers yet. Just focus on the different choices that they give you, and then you choose based on the choices, right? Program testing can be described as checking that all the documentation is included in the program. Do you need to do that to actually test a program? No, you don't. Executing the program manually with input values to see the results? Yes, that is how you test a program. Running the program using sample data to identify errors? Yes, you definitely have to do that when you're testing. So our answers should be 2 and 3. So we're going to find the one with 2 and 3, which is C. So C is the answer there. Nice. Jared, a random giveaway. What are you going to do? Put names in a hat and pull out one? That would be a little... I ain't that rich, you know. I ain't that rich. Can't just do that. Unless I get like... I would have random giveaway for a power bank. Yeah. Alright, so let me give a little preview before we do the next question of I'm going to be programming a robot this week on Instagram, right? Before I do that, let's see if I get big here. Right here, so this is one of the robots I built. Of course, I have Voltron here. Voltron built already. He just need to get programmed. But I create a small tank. And this small tank here, basically, he just have one sensor in front here and then two tank wheels that decide to move, right? So what I did is I kind of make a small program. See if I can find it, right? Is it? Gosh, that's up. Give away the tank. Or hey, all the real kicks, you know. Yeah, there's a EV3. There's a EV3. So I'm going to show you real like a simple program that I did. Well, very simple programs for it. Let me do this quick before I do the next question, right? Alright, so watch me here. Who's that calling me this all, boy? Whoosh. My boy, auntie, I can't say no. Water, the scratch link. Scratch link. Would give him trouble. Nah, now we can. Bluetooth off? I doubt. No, Bluetooth off. Anyhow, I'll come back to this tutorial some other time. Apparently not, it don't want to cooperate right now. But yeah, this week I'm gonna be programming this. And so far that's our program to make him smile. Watch this. Haha. I get him to smile. So when I do the programming, we get him to smile, we get him to talk, all kind of thing. Yeah. Moving on. Last question before I go. Last one for the road. Extracting information from a database can be achieved through the use of Alright, extracting information from our database. When you do the extraction, you are creating a query. So a query is when you're extracting files. Well, we do earlier files. Objects are like the tables. And the reports would be like for normal people. So you would take a query and then make a report from it. That's what you'll give to the people, normal people. I really want to show you a small program back. So yeah, queries extract based on criteria. Thank. Right, so yeah, that is it for me tonight with all the multiple choice. If all just stay for 2 seconds, I'll do a small program for you to see, just for kicks. So I'm gonna do a small program on the tank here. If you're interested, you could stay. If not, it was nice. See you next week. Next week we'll do some more multiple choice. Alright, so I'm gonna connect the robot, and then this is basically blocks. You just take the blocks and the blocks will do the programming for you. So you can kinda just have this space, and then you have a play button. Connect. Alright, so you connected there. So I'm going parallel block to turn the motors, right? So I'm going to put large motor. So this is a motor, and each motor is connected to like A, B, C, or D, right? Let me show you. You can't see. Come now, mouse. You see an A, B, C, and D there? A, B, C, D. Right, so each cable connected there. So if I want to turn one of the motors, I'll set the speed. I'll set the speed to like 25 to 75, and then when I press play, whoa! Watch it there. That's not wrong one. Which one are the biggest right here? This one is the biggest, yeah. Watch it there, right? Ready? And play. So that's the left wheel. And then I'm going to turn the right wheel now. B, C. And let me see if I can change the face. I want to change the face to a sad face just for kicks. See if I can find the sad face. Images. Expressions. Yeah, let me make him sad. Oh, poor EV3, you're feeling sad? Okay. So now I'm going to make him sad, and I'm going to make his leg spin. So he's going to become sad and spin his right leg. I'm so sad. Oh my. Poor robot. Okay, cool. Yeah, well. Yeah, alright, so. That's me wasting time just because I'm excited. Yeah. Cool. Great. Wonderful. Hey, Christopher. How are you going? You good, man? Everything cool? Nice to see you. Alright, so I good day. That was nice. See y'all in the next week. Next week Sunday, we will be back. Be back at it, and I'll finish up these questions, and I'll probably find more questions today, right? So thanks again for the live. All you on the inside. If you didn't subscribe now, cause I'd be really happy if you do so. Later. To all the day ones later. Next I'm doing IT Unit 1 multiple choice. I had to finish off some IT Unit 1 multiple choice.